Hello, welcome everybody, welcome to this reading. So today we're doing like a prologue reading. You can see this as a reading for the path ahead from here onwards. If you've ever read a book, right, the story plays out, it ends, and then it's like 2 years later, these people are doing this and that and the other, and it wraps it up kind of nicely and gives you a little bit of a hint of where the future is. So take this as like exactly that, a little bit of a hint to where your future is going. Now, this will be the last reading I do for a while. I'm going to take a break from YouTube. I'll keep up with Twitch. I've already reduced the day on Twitch, so I'm going to do 2 days a week, a collective day and a one-on-one reading day on there, so you can always check me out there. But here, it'll just be like a pause. I don't know how long it'll be. I might be back in a few months. But I have some things that I need to sort out on my personal life, right? In my life. Nothing drastic, actually, or positive things. It just means I'll be more busy. So this will be the last one for a while. We've also just passed through the 8-8, right? This is today where I am now. It is the 11th of the 8th, so the Lion's Gate is still open. So, put in your manifestation ideas, I guess, or wishes, blessings that you want to experience in this life, because why not? And also, we've just passed through the full moon as well, so it's been a lot going on astrologically or even spiritually, and that may have played out in the last few weeks with relationships, connections, all sorts of different things. So I just wanted to give that as a heads up. Nothing bad at all, just going to be away for a while, but all the readings last, as long as they're available up on YouTube, so you'll be able to check out some of the older readings as well. Otherwise, there's a plethora of amazing readers on YouTube. Okay, but with that ado, let's have a look and get you some cards. So we'll grab some piles out. So take this as like a prologue, so like a message for you to help you on your future path, right? Where you're going. This is like, here's some steps you can take to get to exactly where you want to be. Okay. So let's take a look at the piles. I'll just move this out of the light. So for pile number 1, you have the Labradorite, the Shamanic Journey, Brave, Magical Power, Higher Awareness. So pile 1, Labradorite. For pile number 2, you have Black Tourmaline, Protective Anxiety Relief, Aura Cleansing, and Self-Belief. Okay. And lastly, for pile number 3, you have the Blue Topaz with Finding a Spiritual Ally, Higher Wisdom, Abundance, and Forgiveness. Okay, so give yourself some time, pick whichever piles call to you. What I'll do is I'll put the description, timestamps in the description, I should say, and you'll be able to jump to your video. You can just leap straight ahead. If you need more time, pause the video. So I'll give you maybe like 20 seconds after this blurb to pick your pile. And yeah, I'll see you in your message today. Hello, welcome to your reading pile number 1, so your prologue reading. As usual, I didn't say what I was listening to, but because you're pile number 1, I always give you like what the energy is coming through. I'm listening to Healing Vibrations on YouTube, which is the name of the creator, and it is Cortisol Detox Sound Bath crystal singing bowl music for anxiety and stress relief. So this is really chill vibe music. And I feel like it really makes sense with the shamanic journey, right? This could be, you might have already gone through a certain path to get to where you are today, like whatever you've gone through, right? Everyone's gone through something. No one is left unimpacted by the experiences that we have on this planet. But the shamanic is going through, like the first thing that came through was like, you heal yourself so you're able to heal others. And healing others doesn't mean doing it for them. In this case, healing others is helping them help themselves. It's like it's like, the teacher man to fish is far better than giving a man to fish, a fish, right? It's that education, it's that understands comprehension. And sometimes we, the earlier people, go through it through experience, and sometimes other people go through it experience, but also with equipment to deal with it much better. And that's really where your future kind of like path is looking. It's like the stronger, independent, healthier, healed path. It's like the person at the end of their life that looks back and doesn't criticize or judge themselves or others, is expressing empathy for the path that's been walked and the life that's lived. Okay. So that's where we're going. Higher awareness, right? Very high awareness. Really nice card coming through for you today, part 1. So let's see what the reading's going to be about exactly, though. Grab some oracle cards. Oracle cards first, and then, then we'll see. See what wants. Whoa. Okay, you really want that one. Okay. It's popping out like, I don't know, popcorn chicken. Did you have popcorn chicken? Do they still have popcorn chicken? I'm vegetarian now, but like, I remember popcorn chicken at KFC. Quite a feast. Oh, okay. Truth revealed. Nice. Truth revealed being lifted, or like being flipped first, is kind of interesting here, because this card, to me, and if you've ever seen the game Monster Garden, it's this is a point where you kind of like come up to a boss, right? It's like, and even the monster behind the curtain is kind of like the truth revealed, like when, what's her name? Dorothy goes to the Emerald City, and behind the Emerald City is behind the curtain is the wizard pulling on the levers. So it's like the drama and the fear and the kind of excitement and all the other stuff is torn down, and it's just showing that this is just a man, an inventor, right? It's just a person. We tear away all the ideas and expectations, and we just see the truth. We just see the realness, and that doesn't make it less or more of anything, but it does show what the reality is of the situation. So it's kind of interesting. It's going on a path, because we've got these in the middle, going on a path or a journey of comprehension, understanding, pushing boundaries, pushing limits of ourselves. It's not put on by anyone else. This is just what we decide. So it's a cool path, I feel. It's like more and more you grow, the more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about others, the less you criticize or judge self or others. Okay. You've got Venusians with romance, soulmates, and empathy. I did say empathy before, didn't I? So this is a path of like looking back over your life. That's right. Because what was popping up in my head was a card called the Bone Collector, where it's like the trauma and challenges we go through, and as we go through the transitional or like end of life experience, looking back, it's like, okay, whatever I went through made me who I am. It doesn't have to tell me who I am, though. It's helped me become a better, stronger, whatever person, even if it would have been a kind of softer experience not experiencing that, but I can't change what's happened, right? So that kind of thing. That's what I'm getting with this. It's like a path of self-love to help incorporate love within connections. A path of self-healing to help heal others, in a sense. And remember, when I say heal others, it's not doing the work for them. It's providing them the equipment to do it themselves. The key, providing the equipment to do it themselves. Yeah, you can see here the Ardent Mage is passing on the key here. So, I mean, ultimately, you're going to go through a very strong path of growth and healthy independence and healthy dependence, right, on self, if that makes sense. Maybe dependence, it's just independence, I guess. Strong balance, a strong toolkit to assist others. It's like being having a plethora of skills. You didn't come here just to be monopath. Like, you know, some kids might be born and they're interested in biology, and then they're still interested in biology and they just love animals, right? And then they go off and become a vet, and that's exactly what they're supposed to do. And then they have pets and stuff, and they open a pet shelter, right? And it's just very clear for them. That's not a bad life. That's great, right, for them. But this life that you're living is it's more spread out. You might do many different jobs. You might date many different kinds of people. You might experience many different types of not planets, maybe planets, but like worlds. And what I mean like that is different cultures, and experience different types of religion, even, and just many different facets and things in life. And that's how you gain knowledge, right? Through that. You gain knowledge through the more structured linear path, as well as the very kind of spread out and vibrant net. So, you know, appreciate that as well. Appreciate the variety, the opportunities that are out there. You can force it into a more narrow path if you want, or you can really embrace that web, I guess, the net that can be cast quite widely. Oh, you're getting some really nice cards. You got the Thunderbird Ankh, which is Storm, Eternal Soul, and Longevity. This kind of feels like a life well lived. Yeah, this reading is talking really a lot about from here onwards. And I feel like I'm just telling you the story. You don't have to do too much, right? But it's just like, here's the story. This is a life, longevity, eternal soul, remembering that there's so much more than just this incarnation. It doesn't make it less important. It actually reminds you of how important this is, because it's such a blessed experience. Like if you get to go to someone's wedding and it's a really emotional experience, right? It's really nice to see your daughter, son, or family member, or whatever, be married. And it's just one day, it's just one event. And it's kind of like how your soul sees this life. It might be just one life out of many, but it is an amazing experience, so to speak. Okay. The unknown, yeah. Hence why there's brave. I guess the guidance here would be to remember that you're always being guided. And this kind of reminds me of The Motivator. Do you remember The Motivator on Wipeout? It's an American show. I think they probably had different countries with it. But and it was like this big boot, and it would kick them, and then they would jump onto the ball, and it was those big balls up in the sky, and they would fall off usually most of the time. But like, you could see, like, if they just stood there, they're not getting anywhere, right? They're not going to make it. So sometimes you just need to fail. You're better off failing and learning than to just sit there. Like, the wall's busted down, he's already had time to take off his shoes, right? It's like, do I want to go through there? I don't know what's over there. I know what's over here. It's me and whatever I've experienced, but I don't know if I want to go forward. This is telling you that you have a choice. You can stay there, but this isn't a life where you can sit for too long in stagnation, or in, what's that word in my head? Procrastination. You're a lover, not a fighter. Even here, I'm going by more the old Wizard of Oz. The new stuff is a bit different. But the old Wizard of Oz, the wizard you know, it looked like Dorothy had to kind of fight with him. But she didn't really, right? She didn't really have to fight him because, like, once his secret was up, all the drama and all the like scariness kind of just vanished because we got the truth. So, you know, you're on a perpetual emotional, not emotional, motive. You're on a perpetual walk of life that moves constantly forward towards. It's not like walking through a desert. It's walking through the path that's chosen, albeit motivated forward, let's say. But yeah, you can't uncover the truth until you dive into the unknown. Don't be afraid. Okay, what else do you want to say about this conclusion? All right. Got the Seven of Swords, the Knight of Cups. What are you? Yeah, it's definitely a journey, right? Like I said, you can't learn how to be a good healer without having to have healed yourself. You can learn as much as you want in books, but it makes it much easier, especially when it's psychological or emotional, right? Physical's, I mean, that's true too, but it's a bit different, right? Physical is just usually the physical form that can have roll-on effects with emotional. If someone's, you know, just randomly hit you in the head and you get the physical stuff sorted, there could be still like that trauma, right? There's definitely trauma from that. So this is like going through and not like the Five of Swords feels like you're ending the game. Like you're not going to fight in a pit where a gladiator style of a life, right? Where we go, one person wins and one person loses. This is like a positive walking away. They may feel like they've won, but they haven't won because there will always be another contestant, whereas these people are going off on their own path. Doesn't make it easy, but it does show that there is so much more fulfillment in the new than there is in the same old, same old. What else is your advice? Do the work. Do the work. I like this. It's kind of, I mean, I don't know how you would feel about it, but it like comes across as like a sign of putting in the effort, putting in the skills, doing the work. The more you try and do things a little differently and try new things, the more you discover what is your true love, right? The Knight of Cups is like this guy here is like, I don't know, it just gives me that real, authentic kind of vibe. He's doesn't know everything, but he's doing what he feels is right in the moment. And sometimes that might be things he's like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. But he wouldn't have known he shouldn't have done that if he didn't do it. Yeah, there's a lot of clearing past stuff, like this is doing the work, and then we've got the past card here. There's also creating memories, right? How do you create good memories? By doing good today. That's how you create positive memories, by doing what you felt was right today. And maybe it didn't lead to something positive, but imagine looking back and being like, I remember that person who was motivated to do this and they did it. And while it may not have worked out in the way that they had thought, that motivation to do that one thing was created like a snowball effect of different things in life. And while I thought, oh, that's exactly what it was supposed to do, it was supposed to be this and it didn't happen, so therefore it was wrong. It's like, no. That power and that like belief in self that I can do this or I can do that or I can heal this or I can move on from this or I can evolve in this way was the catalyst. Like that was the catalyst, not anything else. Not like, oh, this thing just popped up and it was perfect. That thing popped up because you did that one thing. You made that one decision to progress. You made that one decision to do better for yourself, right? For you. Lastly, we've got the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is interesting because like a really old version of the or meaning of the card is popping up in my head, which was a dark man, right? Like that's usually what it was, and I was always funny, like listening to it funny. But he's like a foreign person or someone international. So to me, that kind of translates into travel or into experiencing different things. Doesn't mean you have to even leave the state or the city you live in, right? Or the country you live in. It could be just like experiencing something different that you haven't experienced before. Even something old, like historical or, you know, if you want to help certain people, do you even know what they believe in and what their life is like? Do you know their experience, right? So it's all well and good to say, oh yeah, this should be like this should be like that, but do you even know what you're supporting or what you're believing in and why you believe in it, right? This is what I get or gauge from the Page of Wands, and you don't always have to pick the perfect path. It's just what is it? It's just experience, really. It's just like making a decision that this is something you want to explore. Exploration is absolutely fine here. So how do you embody this? I wasn't going to bring out these cards, but they keep looking at me, so I'm just going to grab them. This is the Wild Unknown Pocket Edition, and because you've got the Unknown card, now it makes sense why the Wild Unknown's coming through. So what do you embody now to create this path of... it's almost like the young explorer. I mean, I've seen on YouTube there's oh my god, why am I repeating? There's like people on there who travel, right? And they might be in their like 60s and they still have the heart of like the 20-year-old who wants to go on their overseas experience, right? They still have that. They're doing it in a different way because they've, you know, accumulated different assets and things like that along the path, but they're still living it in a way, and no one can really tell you how to live your life unless you believe that you have to live your life the way that they say you do. So how do you embody this energy now? How do you start this path? The Bardo is like, it's got all these skulls over here, right? It's like a death card or a death energy. Could be like releasing, letting go. The King card, standing strong. King energy is authority, but not in the sense of like forcing rules, right? It's like sovereignty over self, mastery over the body, mastery over the mind, mastery over the soul. Not in a perfected way, just more in a belief way, a belief in self, strong belief in self. And then we've got the Ocean, travel. I mean, that's what I get from it. The Ocean can also be like similar to the Moon card, right? Understanding the shadows that you process and go through to get to where you are. I just want to quickly read the Bardo. It's number 50 because I remember my Roman numerals. Kind of. And I think it was easy learning 50 because it's L, right? And it's just weird. It's just weird. Probably a reason behind it, but I don't know. Okay, the Bardo. The Bardo is the liminal, the in-between, the transition. So how do you do it? You start it, really. You trust yourself, you start it, and you travel over that ocean. I mean, it's pretty basic, but that's it. I believe that I can do this. I trust myself. How do I start moving? I make the decision in my head. Like if I need like documentation, all that kind of stuff, or let's say this isn't actually physical traveling, it's like traversing the shadows and difficulties and challenges within self. That is making the decision to do that and believing that whenever I need to slow down and stop, I trust myself and trust my own guidance that I will be able to stop when I need to, because I will be reminded of like eating and taking a breath and self-care, right? All that kind of stuff. But I dive into the depths. So this is not just a physical journey, it can be, but this is definitely an internal path as well as some kind of form of physical path in the future. Yeah, you've got the liminal in between. So when in light, it says spaciousness, grace, forgiveness, and truth. And where was the forgiveness? That was a different pile, I think. One of the crystals. Anyway, when in shadows, it says, oh, it's really small writing, and I realize that as I get older, I can't see. Formant, dislocation, hallucination, and transient. Hallucination makes me think of the 3D, like the Maya idea of Maya, right? The idea of Maya where we get so caught up in the illusion that we start to believe that the illusion is real. Maybe like if you watch a TV show, right? There was a show called Shorten Street back in the day, and there was, I think this, the character in one of the shows was called Roimata, and she was scheming, no, maybe her name was Rima, and they kind of made it Rima the Schemer or something like that. It was something stupid. It's a soap opera in New Zealand called Shortland Street. Anyway, I remember the actor went out and she was in a grocery store and she got called names and stuff by this old lady because of her character in Shortland Street. And it's like, you know, sometimes we get too caught up in what's not real that we start to believe it is like, that's that person, right? She's playing a role. And just like this, your soul's playing a role. So while it feels much different to us because we see this as very, very real, and it is real to us, but if we blink back out into the soul level, we can see that this is a play that's playing out like a live action role play, right? It's wild. Anyway, going back all the way to your reading is really about expansion, living the life you want to live in truth, in love, and in your heart, and you'll get there. This is going to be a path of a lot of exploration and experience. You can, like I said, you can narrow this down into a more formative path or make it very expanded, and that is completely going to be up to you. However, Mr. Motivator or Mrs. Motivator is going to nudge you along. Regardless, there's no sitting in procrastination for too long. Always self-care though. Always self-care. Okay, that's it. Pile number 1. Thank you for letting me read for you. I appreciate all the support as well. Just in case if I don't come back, you never really know. Life takes us on different paths and journeys, but I appreciate your support. And yeah, if you need any other readings, I'll always be on Twitch. You can see that in my profile. There is a tree, what is it? Link tree that will take you there, or otherwise any of the older videos, they still hold a resonant for the next whatever readings I end up doing in the future, but also the past ones will still have resonance in the moment that you pick them and listen to their message. Okay, take care everyone, look after yourself, and I'll see you next time. Hello, welcome to your reading pile number 2. So you've chosen the lovely Black Tourmaline with protective, anxiety relief, aura cleansing, and self-belief. So this is about you, right? This is going to be focusing in on you. So remember this path, this reading is kind of like a prologue. So it's talking to setting you up for the highest or the most, the most, whatever your soul wants to bring through, what that kind of a path, the most important for you and your soul as one, right? As one. So anywho, let's grab some oracle cards and we'll get into it. Okay, this one wants to take a leap, so we'll grab you. Just realized there was a bunch of cards that didn't get picked up with that card, so there was a few lesser choices, I guess. But that one came out pretty quick anyway. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, Let's take a look at your message today. The first thing I'm getting with the black tourmaline is this is really, it's like, there's people involved in your path, of course, and you're involved in their path as well. But this is what's really important is your own experience, or like, I guess if I put it really point blank, and how do I put this into words, is your purpose in life involves overcoming or working through stuff within yourself, or about yourself, or in your life, right? So it's centered around you. It might sound really selfish, but it's not. It's just like a heavy or a big part of your purpose in life is your own peace, your own self-care, love, that kind of thing. Okie dokie. You've got the Ebbins. I don't know, Ebbins. It looks like a little toy. Anyway, Ebbins, this is mystery, reading between the lines, and intuition. I mean, how do you build good intuition? Intuition is a real big self-belief, right? It's a belief in self, that what you're getting is real. I know a lot of people, especially a lot of women, right, will find it really hard to believe in what they feel and think, which is super important to learn and grow from, because, this is a very blanket statement, but I feel like women have much better intuition. I think that if that was trusted a lot more and believed, we would probably have a much better world. But here we are. It's not a bad world, right? It's just, I feel like things would be much different if society wasn't in the way it was, right? In some senses. I'm not blaming anyone for what they do or feel. It's just how the world kind of is, and it's hopefully will be shifting, and as it continually is shifting with, I don't know, with the balance of masculinity and femininity in the world. But anyway, that's what I wanted to bring through for that. So take what you will with that. You've got restraints, right? Playing within the rules. There's like a vibe here of breaking out of things. It's like if a doctor said, oh, you're like this, so this is how you'll always be. That kind of becomes a belief, right? Because they're an authority. They don't know you, you know you. You understand you. They might give you good information, and that actually may be helpful, but filter it through your intuitive senses. Does that feel right? Does it feel wrong because they've triggered a wound within you? Because maybe that's more of a trigger within you. But if it's something else, like that just doesn't feel right, you can understand what they're saying, but it doesn't vibe well with you, or it doesn't make sense within yourself. Trust that, believe that, trust in you. This is a very big reading about you. You've got the Fool card, going on your own path. Right next to the Ebbins too, mystery, reading between the lines. This is that trying to gauge something. Even if someone says something and then does something different, it's not really reading between the lines, right? But it is kind of like people will show their hand very clearly. Sometimes they show it so clearly, and to one person they could be completely blind to it. Another person, it's just to everyone else it's very obvious, right? So this is being very, very aware of the movements of self and others, the way people are and how they say compared to, what they say. Do they walk the walk, talk the talk, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. And the Fool card is, this is a good time to start this new way of being, because you don't have to play within a rule that was set to you, or if you were told you weren't good enough or stupid or whatever, right? All that kind of rubbish. It's only going to impact you if you take that on as truth within yourself and hold it there. No one else can remove it but you. It is your time. You've got the pathways, the Chimera and the Alpha Omega as pathway, cycles, and truth. This is the beginning and the end. You've come here for you and to grow within your own soul's experience, essentially. And it's like, do you take the path of truth, or do you go through the cycles? This is your choice. Do you go through the cycles and you'll get there anyway? You'll get to the end anyway. You'll get to the goal anyway, in this life, another life, whatever. But this is like a really big part that you can play in this particular existence. and it's got to be what feels right to you. Other people will give you advice and tell you what to do, and that can be very helpful, but ultimately you take the accumulation of all that information and decide what's right for you. Yeah, repetition, lost souls, and rights. You can keep cycling with stuff, especially if someone hurt you, but this person did this to me, but they said this about me, so I believe that, so therefore it was all their fault. And you know, it's like, that's absolutely fine for their back then, but today, how do you master it and how do you go forward? You've got a real big opportunity to go through the cycles, right? Lost souls, repetition, cycles, you can go through it, loop, 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 or you can break through and just go on your own destined path to uncover. It's not coming through as like this is going to be a huge challenge. It's more like small things create big changes within your life. Self-belief, right? Self-belief. Clearing out all that old mucky stuff. What do we got? Ten of Swords, let it go. It's already dead. The past is gone. Like, the past is past. Endings, old stuff is done. This is your blessed opportunity to go in a different direction. Choose what feels right to you. You know, in the very, very old version of this, it has a man with a woman that he loves and a woman that will bring more status and prestige to families, right? When we think about it now, maybe the ancestors are benefiting from it, from more money or more wealth, but wealth being material, not experiential or like anything else, right? So it's the idea with that person who's like the lover's card gets to is deciding, right? Do they go with the person they love, which may not actually bring wealth to the whole family, because the whole family's like, well, you should marry this person. It's been this much time. It's like even when partners are like, well, we've been together for 6 months. Why aren't you proposing, or a year or whatever? It's like, are you actually happy in the relationship? Are they happy? Is everything fine? Why, you know, is this ring or is this like contract important? You know, have you had conversations about this? So maybe it is time to move forward with the connection. Maybe it isn't. You know, it depends on where you're at. But ultimately, this is a choice. The lover's card is a choice, a decision to look after oneself, to look after their peace of mind, and make everyone else happy, and go with the person that they're not in love with, but that will bring a prosperous future, right, for their offspring. Which sounds really terrible these days, but maybe if I said that in the 1700s, that would be the most sanest thing you could say. Or do I go with the person that I love because I care for them and love them and I want to have a relationship with them, but I lose out on maybe even getting disowned or like shunned, right, for my family, but I get to live my life freely in the way I want. Why sacrifice your life? Okay, got the King of Pentacles. This feels like creating your own future. Not relying on others to carry you through. This is relying on self. It's a very independent future or path. Sorry if there was banging before. This is other people in the house that struggle with door handles. You also have the Hierophant coming through. Getting a lot of majors. You got the Hermit coming through. It's interesting. The word that's coming through with these two is this is a protected path. Which protected path, and I laugh, I don't mean it's like funny, but the protected path in my mind is one where we don't see the edges and the corners of the game, right? We don't know what's on the side. It's like when you're playing a game and you only have discovered this much of the map, but you don't know what's out there, right? That's the exciting thing. You might run into barbarians, you might run into wild animals, You might also run into villages that help you. You might run in, like, discover food that you haven't seen before, or resources or whatever. So what I mean is, it's a protected path. You'll be guided in the direction that will take you to prosperity or fulfillment from a soul level. And then individually, the Hierophant is structure, the Hermit is going within to find enlightenment and then moving forward or sharing the knowledge with the everyone else. And again, it's very similar to Lover's card, like the story, right? The Knight of Cups is going on a journey of your own heart, experiencing things from your own choices and what you love rather than what you're expected to do or be. Now, with that being said, there's going to be things that we're expected to be. If you're going to have a child, you're really, I mean, up to you how you want to live your life, but I would say you're expected to at least raise the child, right? Or do what's right. And if you can't, then, find a suitable thing, or like, not thing, but a person to be able to look after it. But it's kind of like, I'm not talking about those kind of situations. I'm talking about parents wanting you to become a doctor and you would rather, I don't know, open up a surfing business because you love surfing and you're able to move to a tropical island and teach tourists how to surf. Like, if that's your goal in life, why not do that? Why do the doctor thing just because it would make your mother and father smile? You're not here to live their life. If they want to be a doctor, tell them to go to medical school. You know what I mean? Why not? Why don't they go do it? If that's what they really want out of something in life, then do it themselves. Live their own life. You live your own life. That goes for everyone outside of you and even yourself. You don't have to hold on to expectations because you've chosen a particular thing. Just because you've got a degree in whatever doesn't mean you have to do it if it doesn't feel like that's what feels right in this moment. Maybe the learnings that you had at school or university were what teaches you far more than just a particular job. And I say that as someone who dropped out of university, but I had learnt so much at university, and none of it was in a classroom or in a lecture. It was all through experience and interacting with other people my age at that time, right? So yeah, I'm going to grab one more card from this deck because, I don't know, I feel like it's the last reading. This is just something to help you slip into, I guess. Kind of like what's the right clothes to wear for this environment? So this is like, what's an archetype that will help me slip into? Like, what do I need to feel or think about? You've got the thread. The thread is pulling the thread that opens up a switch, right? It's like kind of like a light switch, or even a, when you start pulling on a thread of your clothes, and if you're silly enough to keep going, like I'm sure many of us have, it ends up unraveling a lot of it, or it could pull the whole thing down. And sometimes that's great because, well, not really with the clothes, but we pulled the thread and we start seeing more and more of the real stuff, right? It's like we see someone doing something a little shady in a business, and then we look and then we realize they're organized, that they're like doing something illegal, right? I used to work in a bank, so that was a very true scenario where this person who was going through some financial troubles was locking in someone's, what was it? I think they had like a high dollar term deposit, and they were taking the interest. They were stealing the interest, basically. So the lady who had their money in wasn't actually getting all that interest. They were either getting a very small amount or they were getting none of it, and he was kind of taking it, and a lady saw it, then got more proof, and then, yeah, that person ended up in jail. So, it's better, it might be a sad thing or a bad thing to figure out and find out, but better than ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is ignorance. Let's not go even bother with that. Okay, so that is your reading. Like I said, I'll be back again. I don't know in what capacity. Maybe here, maybe not here. We'll see. There's a lot of troubles I've had with microphones and the quality of the cameras and stuff, and I've tried to get different things. And it's just gone on for so long that I'm like, let's just pause this for a while. and deal with some other stuff that I've got going on, because I need to do that as well, without oversaturating myself with like stuff to be busy, right? As humans, we're already busy enough. So yeah, but I do have other readings, and I will, like, on this channel, and I will be reading on Twitch, so I'll always be there when I can be, obviously, but I'm usually there at least twice a week on Twitch. So I just want to thank you, appreciate you for all the support over the years. I just want to say, take care of yourself, look after yourself. This is a really nice reading, right? This is a great reading. There is a purpose and reason at times in our life for structure, especially when we're like, we need it, we're all over the place, but then that structure can break down. We need to expand. So decide where you are and where you're at in life. Do you want to go through the things you've already gone through again, or cycle with the same feelings, or do you want something more expansive and something new? Up to you. All right, take care, look after yourself, and I'll see you next time. Hello, hello, welcome to your reading pile 3. So you've chosen the blue topaz, Finding Spiritual Ally, Higher Wisdom, Abundance, and Forgiveness. We'll see what comes through in the reading, of course, but before I even begin, it does feel like this reading, you know, this is about your prologue, kind of like the future, looking back at now, and being like, hey, you can have this, what I experienced, because it's already been lived, like it's already been mapped out, and so you can play it or do it, or you can go on a different path, right? But this feels like a very spiritual path in the sense of spiritual and forgiveness for growth, real forgiveness, not this idea of I'm better than everyone else, I'm forgiving people, look at me. It's not about that, right? Leave that for others. This is really about true blessing of understanding what abundance is, gratitude, forgiveness, like learning, growth, and finding that spiritual ally, which is really interesting because it feels like, is that a lover? Is that a mentor? Maybe it's all of them. Maybe it's a mixture of them. Who knows? Okie doke. Let's grab some oracle cards for you today. Ooh. Okay, coming through nice and hot. Okay, I'll grab these and then I'll have a look at the tarot next. You've got the tool White, Uncertainty, Distrust, and Guarded. Well, well, well. Are we seeing getting some truth here? It's a tough thing when you go through challenges, right? When you go through pain and hurt, or especially if you're a super open, sensitive soul, like empaths can be, right? Some of them aren't, but some of them can be. And boundaries are really important for that. But this feels like a path of breaking through the unknown, which seems like a theme in all the readings that I've done today. But also this distrust and guarded. It's perfectly fine to have walls up when they are needed, but when you get older and the walls now actually hinder your path or your progression, that's when they need to be, you know, remodeled. Remodel the inner house. You have Poetry, Uninhibited Intuition. This feels like going back into the inner child, or even the youthful soul self. You have Gentle Joy, Good Vibes, and Complementary Colors. Yeah, you're allowed to have a real fun, kind-hearted life. Like that's just how it's coming through. Poetry, Gentle Joy. You've got the Old Master and the Staff. This could be where the spiritual ally comes in with the Old Master. And the Time Staff, Weary Soul, Compromise, and Past. If the past is holding you back in any other way, it's only blocking you from your own joy at this time. Forgiveness isn't about letting the person off the hook. It's about recognizing that it's time to move forward, because the past will only hold you back. you know, especially if the person's no longer in your life, then you don't have to worry about that. You know, if the person that hurt you or the thing that's happening is no longer happening in your life. That's a perfect sign that it's time to release it in whatever way feels right. And even here, the story with this guy is he's making a deal with some kind of succubus, right? To extend his life and keep going and maintain his power and his control. But if you're giving your control away to something else to maintain the illusion of control, then you're not in control, right? Ooh, I like this. You got the mentalist and the destiny knot, knowing, intuition, and destiny. Yeah, intuition is super important in all the readings today, which I feel like intuition is believing in self. It's not like, how do I get better intuition? It's like, how much do you trust and believe in yourself? How much here do you believe in others and trust yourself and believe that others will do what is right? If they show their hand and show that they're not going to, that's not just like, well, I still believe they will. That's like seeing reality for what it is. But if there's no reason to, then what's the harm in hearing them out or listening to their story or tale, right? And then deciding from there once you have more information. But ultimately, I feel like this is a fun life. Like, you can have fun with this life. You've gone through the horrors, I don't want to say horrors. You've gone through the challenging parts. And now it's time to release those challenging parts from the energetical field. All right, let's have a look. It's kind of interesting. There's a song coming up in my head, and I can't remember the lyrics exactly, all the lyrics, but part of it is like, go out and be you. It might upset people, but that's none of their business, right? If I'm swimming, because I feel like swimming and people are getting upset that I'm swimming because, I don't know, whatever they decide. Like, if I'm not like drowning people in the pool or like doing something gross in the pool, right? Then what's the problem? I'm just swimming. I'm minding my own business. I'm not bothered by them. Why are they bothered by me? So if you go out and you want to wear like some crazy colors or a dress or like, you know, a business suit or whatever, I don't know, whatever. Let the bitches be bitches, right? The bitches are going to be bitches anyway. So you may as well not get your energy caught up in their drama. Oh, now that another song's popping up. It's like, it's my life. It's now or never. Bon Jovi, right? Came out with this card, which is kind of funny because it's like, there's like this rebalancing of scales within self and without, like in the outside world as well. This always reminds me of the GoFundMe card. One of the newer tarot versions has like a GoFundMe on the six of coins or six of pentacles. It's just funny. But yeah, you know, if I have more than others, then why shouldn't I just like give back? And vice versa too. If I need assistance and I know where to get assistance, it's okay that I ask for that. Things swing in roundabouts. When I'm open to receiving, abundance is allowed through. When I'm open to like giving and available, like have that ability, right? Then an abundance flows through. Like it flows through regardless. It flows through the receiver and the giver. So don't be afraid of openness. Got the little Six of Swords, going on a journey by water, right? That's part of it, but also it's leaving the past behind. Leaving what was in the past. Becoming your queen. Look at them go. I like this card. It's cute. Alright, so we've got the Queen of Wands coming through. Queen of Wands is knowing who she is, believing and trusting in herself, knowing that, you know, the future is what she will make of it. And not worrying about what other people are thinking. Like, that keeps coming up. Not worrying about what other people are worried about. Embody the Queen of Wands. because that is some archetype that you can embody. There's another card where she's exercising. I have one, and she's not doing it for her body to impress anyone else. She's doing it for her, right? She's doing what she wants for her. She's doing this because she likes this. It keeps her healthy. It keeps her fit. Keeps her happy. It's not to impress anybody other than herself. She's doing it for her. So it's like, do what you want for you, not for these clowns. Let the clowns be clowns. Go on your own journey. So you got the Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. Again, cute cards. Knight of Pentacles is that one who plans and then goes forward, and then, you know, the Four of Pentacles can be someone who holds back in a way, or is worried about what other people are thinking or doing. It's like, well, I've got what I need. I need to make sure I look after number one, right? Don't worry about yourself. You start worrying about these things, that's when the things will start to shift, and then you will need to worry about them because you're so focused heavily on the worry of it that it's become something and manifests into something. Believing that there's always free energy flowing through me and, you know, in the world. I would never be out of a pocket or like in destitute, right? Like that kind of thing. Just that complete knowing that I believe that even if I did lose my job, I'll be able to find another one. Even if, you know, the plane was delayed, I'm still going to get to my destination. It's like that belief that whatever you're doing or going through, you'll come out the other side stronger. Okay, so how do you embody this? Because there's a lot here. I still feel like this is living uninhibited, living freely. That's your main takeaway here. Not to be so fearful of what other people may say, think about you, or anything like that. You should do a past life reading and see where a lot of that comes from. It may come from this life, but I feel like it's hereditary even. It's like hereditary through the soul's lives, or even hereditary in your family, like past what do you call it? Ancestors. Okay, so anyway, what is your message? Apocalypse. Allow the old you to finish. Transition. Got the bridge cards, you got the apocalypse. Apocalypse is the catalyst, right? The apocalypse is the sign that it's time for a transformation or a change or a clear out. And then you've got the tear. It's like the tear, to me, feels like the moment of truth. It's the moment that you feel, oh, this is right. It's hard to see what's on the other side. Like here, you don't know what's on the other side because you're not there yet, and you haven't experienced what's over there. You've only experienced what you experience. But that recognition that you've chosen you and your path, it kind of like you get to embrace this new world. That's how it feels, or you stay in the apocalypse. You could be jumping through timelines, to be honest. I don't know if that's going to resonate with anyone, but like you could be just like deciding, do I just stay in here because this is what I've always experienced and I can go through the same cycles I've gone through with my parents, with my brothers and sisters, with like my relationship with, you know, whatever stuff I've had in the past. Do I just keep doing that? Because I could just keep doing that. Yeah, you absolutely could. But you don't have to, right? The catalyst will occur where you start to walk across the bridge. And then go into the spiritual world in a sense. Not so much in the death sense, but just like in a, it kind of feels like, oh, I can actually see what's on the other side intuitively. I'm going to trust and believe that I make right choices. Therefore, this choice that I'm making now to walk over to this next place is right for me. And you'll love it. I'm going to see what the tear wants to say. Just in case if there's like, if you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Let's see. The morning, the release, the rain. So in light melody, melancholy flowing through. When in darkness, murkiness, drowning, and drama. It's interesting they said drowning people and swimming in a pool, because, like, you know, in shadow, opportunities can pop up, but if we're in darkness, then we're going to experience the shadow side of it, right? So that might be a time where it's not the right time to cross the bridge. But if you're not crossing the bridge because you are fearful of what's on the other side, even though what you're experiencing is not exactly what you envisioned for yourself, then, you know, maybe it's time to reconsider, is this ego or is this actual intuition? I think that's it, pile 3. Yeah. Nice message, nice reading. I hope this really helps you. Like I said, I will be back in some form, or I'm still here. I'm still on Twitch. You can always get a reading from me on Twitch. I'm there 2 days a week. One is a collective day, which you can ask questions on the rods. I get onto the dowsing rods. Or on Wednesday, you can just ask a traditional kind of like question and we can pull some cards. But to do with YouTube, I'll be finishing. This will be my last one for some time. Probably, I would say at least until October. But I would say the end of the year wouldn't be a surprise if I don't come back then either. But I'll always be around and I'll put up a little notice on YouTube anyway. Do I have anything else to say? No, I mean, look after this path, like, right? This path is about really being honest and true with you, enjoying life, not playing in the little mud pile with all the little pigs, right? Not that they're pigs, but just like not rolling around in the mud, getting filthy and dirty and yelling at each other and throwing mud. Like, leave that to the politicians, leave that to the schoolyard kind of bullies and stuff, right? Leave that to those people that enjoy that kind of like drama, but we don't all have to play in the same game just because we're loaded into the same server. We can play our own game in our own way. And that's what you need to do, according to your message day. Okay, take care of yourself today, pile 3. Look after each other, and I will see you around.